work on the stop plate here, and some of this is relatively simple. We've already done. So if you make that little shape right there and extrude it out, I started with that on the origin point and went up the distance of 0.75, and I went over here from J to N, which was 0.5. Then let's see, I went down this way. I drew this line right here, and that would have been the total length of L is 4.25. A to B down here was 0.38, and then I drew this line back, and then drew a vertical line there, and so those two met. And then I don't remember if I trimmed it or not, but it all worked out once I had those dimensions. Then what I did is I extruded it. When I finished the sketch, the 2 inches, but I did it symmetrical to just kind of try to keep this in line in the long run. I went ahead and made the boss up here without the counterbore in it, so the boss, I put the diameter 1.25 in there, and then I centered it on there using a horizontal constraint in the origin point in this, and then I also went ahead and added the dimension that goes from this line back over to there. It tells us how far back it goes, so that's C to A, that's 1 inch. And from that point, we've just got to now add the counterbore in there and then add these 2 holes. And so I'm going to try to help you with that part of it. So you can go ahead and do that till you get to that point, and then start the video right there. Okay, or pause the video and move on. So anyway, so let's see, I'm here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and right click on this view and then create a new sketch right here. And I'm going to put a point in right here in the middle of this. And it's not constrained, so I'm going to do a concentric constraint between there and there. And that pops it right into the middle. I'll finish that sketch. And while I'm doing points, I'm going to go ahead and right click on this, create a new sketch here, and I'm going to put a point like right here and a point right there. And we're going to go ahead and do the dimensioning for that part of it right there. Let's see, A to E was 2.75 inches, so from here back to here is 2.75. Then we'll do a whole vertical constraint between those 2 points right there. And then we'll worry about the distance between the 2 of them, which was important enough to put a dimension on there. So that distance was M. And M is 1 inch right there between the 2. And then the distance from here to the edge was E to M. And I thought that was on there. E to M. Well, it's only going to be half an inch from here to here. It should be 0.5, right? Because that's what's left over. So I'll put a dimension. If it's 1 inch wide, this is 2 inch wide. That means 1 inch, and we'll divide that by 2, which means that's 0.5. And that should center that thing up on there, right? Using the same philosophy we did when we centered drawings on the board. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here. Go ahead and click the hole command. This is not a metric part, so I'm going to switch back to inches. It is a counterbore. There is a counterbore on there for this one, right? This hole going right here. So that is the counterbore is a 5 or half inch hole going through. Let's go back to 0.5, half inch hole, and it goes through all. Then my counterbore on there is a 0.88, so it's 0.88, and the depth of the counterbore is 0.12. 0.12, and then I'll just click that spot right there, and it puts it in. It goes all the way through, so that's good. And I'll go ahead and do the hole here on this one, and it's not. These are simple holes going through right here, and so those holes are marked as F on your diagram, and those are 0.44. So we can come up here and see if we can find something that's going to work. That's probably what they're going to do, and they just rounded it incorrectly. And so we'll just put those 2 things right there, and we'll finish that sketch. Double click the mouse wheel, and we're going to move on to making the drawing. So at this point, it's not metric, it's an inch one, so I'll go ahead and click that. And it should create the drawing for us. And if I remember correctly, this should be it should lay it out so the boss part of it is facing on the top view, should be facing towards us, facing up there. It seems like it's taking a little longer than I would like, but that's the way it goes. Right click, tangent hidden, right click, hidden lines, right click. It doesn't look like there's going to be any tangent stuff on here. We could go ahead and just do it just because. Right click, tangent hidden, right click, then we'll go ahead and add our center point here, and our center point here, and here. And then we'll do center point on this one, and this one, and then this one, and this one. So that tells us what's going on each of those. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and this is actually a preferred way because you're trying to do as few hidden lines as possible. It's inevitable you got to do them, but if they're looking at the right side viewed this way, if we turn this around the other way, this line right here would be hidden. You're trying to avoid that if you can. So this is a good way to do this. So let's go ahead and start by putting some of these dimensions on here. I'm going to start by putting this one on that tells us from here to here. Didn't mean for that to be 3 decimal places. Does anybody figure out how to solve that problem yet? So that's that. I'll put a dimension on that goes from here to here. That's 1 inch, and the one that goes across this whole thing is 2 inches. So we can then come back down from here down to this one, which was 2.75, which is exactly what we wanted it to say. I can use the whole command and put this on here and say that that's just like that. This one we can do the same thing right here, and I'm going to click on this one and say 2 places. And let's get on that one. All right, so we're going to look here at our overall. We'll look at the height part of it right here. The thickness of this piece is 0.38. The height of from here to here should be 0.5. The depth of these things are all taken care of there. This goes the through hole here, so we're going to put a dimension on the end here, 0.75. Put a dimension here, 0.5. And I think it's fair. We can do this, even if you wanted to, we could do that right here like this is the overall length of that part. So we got an overall length. This indicates that what's going on there. We got how to get to that, how to get to that. So I think we are getting close to being ready to be done here. If we're not done already, so I'm just double checking to make sure that all of my things are through here. And that's it. It is the part when we're done. So we're ready to kind of move on. I'm just, oh no, it's not the part. So here's what I got to do. We got to do a dimension that goes from, say, this edge right here to that center, which was a number we had to calculate, and it's important because it wasn't on that drawing. And so we'll put this here like that. Now we're done. So we should be able to go. Everything, we're locating that, we're telling us what's happening, we're locating these by all of that and tell us what's going through there. Then we're starting to talk about the base of it here and what this number is and what that number is. This length right here is described right there, and this comes down there. The rest is all kind of figured out from there. We're good. So let's move to putting our number thing in here. The name of it is called a stop plate. It's called a stop. Turn the capital on. Stop plate. And it puts it right in the middle, so it's good. Going to back up here, and we're going to say that this is 262-7-8. 8 is our part number. And then we're good. All right, click submit and go from there.